What's up, everybody? What's up, Desiree?
Desiree, you are always first. I appreciate you. Who else is part of the regular club? Did you see Heather's comment, by the way? She said she was listening to one of my all-time favorite episodes, Liver Eaton Johnson, and said, I had to be a nerd and tell everyone that Daniel Boone is my great uncle times 5. When I was a kid in Kentucky, my classmates didn't believe me, so it was all about ancestry DNA as an adult. That's awesome.
Wait, Daniel Boone was he a lumberjack or something?
Daniel Boone.
I think he was like a lumberjack.
Served as a militia officer during the Revolutionary War, American pioneer and frontiersman whose exploits made him one of the first folk heroes of the United States. He became famous for his exploration and settlement of Kentucky.
Well, there you go.
That's pretty dope.
What's up, Brandon? What's up, Lauren? Tonight we're going to a city in Schleswig-Holstein in northern Germany, Lübeck, the Lübeck Town Hall and the town courtroom. Have you been to Lübeck? Is that how you say it?
I don't know. Where have I been I've been to Munich.
Where's that?
Somewhere in Germany. I don't know. Don't remember much. I was there for Oktoberfest. It was a good time. I've been, Munich and Aachen I've been to. But some good beers, good beers. It's where I got that boot that you were drinking out of from the other day.
Mm-hmm. You're about to get the boot.
The boot.
Tonight we're going to the courtroom in Lübeck, Germany, March 6th, 1981. Just before 10 a.m. You weren't even born then.
Nope. Neither were you, actually.
What if I told you my age was older than I am?
Well, you told someone today that you were 40 and you're not.
I mean, I'm pretty much 40.
Why would you round up, dude? You're supposed to round down now. Now that we're over 30, you round down, not up. Or not at all.
I'm telling you, for some reason, we get life advice from people, and it's driving me crazy. And I think it's because
people want someone to talk to. I think that's it.
Maybe.
You think it's because they know I'm a heathen?
I think so, yeah. They know that I'm a Christian, and they look at you like, God damn, like, what the fuck? This is the straight devil. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
Sort of. Tonight, we're going to Lübeck, Germany. This is in 1981. We're going to a courtroom just before 10 a.m. Courtroom 157. A trial is underway. The third day of a trial was underway, and this was a big one. It was attended by many people, as you'll see why. It was all that Germany was talking about.
Okay.
Ooh. The air hung heavy with tension and anger. The defendant, 35-year-old Klaus Grabowski, sat with his eyes straight forward. This man is on trial for murder and rape of a 7-year-old girl.
Oh, no.
The tension in the courtroom was as brittle as a dry twig ready to snap at any moment. This 35-year-old man just sat there. Many people thought that they could see this smirk on his face, but maybe they were just imagining that. This guy, this 35-year-old man, a butcher, was first arrested 10 years before for trying to strangle a 6-year-old girl. His punishment for that? 1 year of probation.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Do you really want me to repeat that? Or you just...
No, I think you should repeat it.
For dramatic effect.
Yeah, for dramatic effect. Repeat it.
This man, Klaus Grabowski, sat there in the courtroom. His first arrest was in 1971 for trying to strangle to death a 6-year-old girl. He was put on 1 year's probation. Months later, after, while he was still on probation.
Right, because he was so well reformed.
Months later, still on probation, he was arrested for sexually molesting a boy and a girl, both 9 years old. He was arrested and found guilty.
Okay.
He was sentenced to 1 year in a psychiatric hospital.
What?
This man needs to have his dick chopped off.
You would think that
he needs to.
Sorry, I was gonna say, is it because it's Germany and they're like, are they loose on their punishments?
raping anyone is not good, but like, and sexually assaulting is not good for anyone, but you like, they're children. That needs to be worse.
All right. Months later, after his first arrest, 1 year probation, he was arrested for sexually molesting a boy and a girl, both 9. He was arrested, found guilty, and sentenced to 1 year in a psychiatric hospital. He said he wanted to change. Mm-hmm. He felt remorse for what he did, and he said, you know what? I might not be able to control my actions. I will undergo voluntary castration.
That's quite a leap.
Quote, voluntarily castrated to curb his sexual desire, end quote. 2 years later, however, when he was out of the psych hospital, 2 years later, he received approval for hormone treatment to restore his libido. The reason this is important is because this man is sitting in this courtroom and everybody knows he's going to get off.
He's lying?
Huh? No.
That he's lying?
Everybody knows that he may get off easy again.
Well, yeah, he's going through hormone therapy, so...
This is interesting, especially because we're talking about, was it Alabama?
Did you guys not get my joke?
No, it was Louisiana.
Louisiana that's doing...
forced castrations on sex offenders.
To, like, curb...
On pedophiles. In prison for sexual crimes.
Is that why you chose this? Because of that?
So, like, when they get castrated, like, obviously I know what that entails, but does that mean that you can't become aroused, or it just makes it increasingly difficult because there's not enough testosterone?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, he raped this 7-year-old girl, so I think he still has a penis, right?
Isn't
castration is when they cut the balls off?
Oh, there you go.
Or yeah. I know, like, I'll be honest, a little confused by like the actual mechanics of what's going on here.
Yeah, castration's like human neutering.
Okay, so like Hubble, he doesn't have his peanuts no more.
Okay,
correct.
That makes more sense. Everyone knows that he may get off easy today, and as you'll see, he's got a great defense, right? He's back in the seat for rape and murder. He voluntarily castrated himself. And then he got hormones from the state, and they must have all mixed up everything, and it's not his fault. Everyone knows they're playing those cards really hard. This is day 3. They've been playing those cards. He may walk.
Well, he won't be walking immediately after he gets castrated.
No, he was already
He's already been castrated.
His charge today, the horrific rape and murder of a 7-year-old Anna Bachmeier. On May 5th, 1980, he abducted 7-year-old Anna Bachmeier, held her in his home for several hours, and then strangled her to death with a pair of pantyhose. He was arrested after being reported by his fiancée. Maybe he does have a smirk on his face. If not intentional, it is just that air that he's projecting that I may get off real easy. This isn't my fault. They shouldn't have pumped me with all these hormones. They screwed me up. I wanted to be a stand-up citizen. I wanted to solve this problem, and they screwed it up. His attorney is arguing for hormonal imbalance caused by the state's deliverance of hormone therapy. Plus, the castration didn't work. And not only that, he has a backup card. Hey, I just gave Anna a ride. She was skipping school. I just gave her a ride. And when she got in the car, she started threatening me with blackmail, saying that if I don't give her so many marks, then she's going to tell everyone I molested her. Now, she's not here to tell her side of the story, and no one believes that, what he said. No one believes that. Everyone knows he just grabbed her up, and there was no blackmail threats at all. But, there's chattering among the courtroom. Everyone's talking about this trial. Everyone is desperate for a resolution here. This trial is packed. The accused is surrounded by guards for his own protection because the egregious act that he did. Nobody dared look Klaus in the eyes, because if they did, this is a monster here. He is back on the 3rd time, this time for a brutal rape and murder of a 7-year-old. If they look into his eyes and his soft face, as he is a handsome man, they may be swayed into believing his innocence. He's helpless due to this hormone mix-up. It's the state's fault. The judge takes his seat. The bailiff hushes the audience, but it doesn't work. The crowd is just going on and on and on. disorder in the court is already starting to manifest. For a trial this big, what did they really expect? All right. Also in attendance this is a landmark case.
Okay.
In attendance for this case is Mr. Eric Mueller and his 8th grade civics class. He had to...
8th grade? That feels awfully young to be witnessing what's going on and what they're talking about in that courtroom.
Well, it might have been older. It just said... It didn't have a grade on it.
Oh, okay.
But it was like middle school civics or...
Yeah, that's...
But this is Germany, too, so I don't know how that works. The civics class, kids. They were kids, right? Mr. Mueller had jumped through quite a few hoops to get his kids to sit in the audience row and be spectators in this landmark case. These kids were well-behaved. This is Germany.
And never going to sleep the same again after hearing all this, I'm sure.
These kids were well-behaved. Although they were playing this obvious game of who can stare at the killer longest, right?
It's a creepy game.
The judge, the bailiff, no one can keep the chatter down. The gavel was hit. Nothing. The handle turns on the gallery door entering the courtroom, and it takes a few seconds for everyone to register it. But by the time it makes that full downward rotation, clicks into place as to be pushed open, silence, dead silence. You can barely see the mother walking in. She's petite. If it wasn't for her supporting attorney, she wouldn't have the strength herself to open that big door. She was a little thing, a 30-year-old barmaid. This is her right here. Can you tell us what she looks like?
She almost looks like Cher, but not as tall.
I'm trying to think of a celebrity too. Yeah.
Similar jawline, and she has the bangs and shoulder length hair, but she's not, she's petite.
Slender.
Look at her frame, how her arms just hang down like she's a walking shell. Her 7-year-old daughter, her only child, was ripped away from her. Marianne Bachmeier, 30-year-old barmaid. Her father was a member of Hitler's 88 troops. But she doesn't talk about that. It's the media that found that out. Marianne respected her father, even though his involvement with Hitler put a black stain on their family. A black stain similar to her hair, as it's dark. Her head hangs low to the floor like a flower wilting away. It's day 3 of her daughter's murder and rape case. And the defense has been making a convincing argument that a simple hormone mix-up is the reason this happened, and even had mentioned suing the state for putting their client through this horrible ordeal.
That would be pretty effed up.
So this is a better picture of what she looks like in the courtroom.
In that picture, she looks like a young Barbara Streisand, not Barbara that entered our house. Kind of, with darker hair.
I'm still not decided who she looks like.
Her eyes, as you saw from the photo, perfectly covered by her bangs. They mask those weeks of sobbing, losing her only sweet child, Anna. The photographers, the reporters, flash cameras. You can see all the cameras in the photo, just all around her, behind her, flash, trying to duck under her chin so they can see her eyes. Just one glimpse of her eyes, trying to decide what she's thinking. But there's no more tears in this mother. That river has dried up, hardened inside of her like a growing tumor. What this man did to her baby was unspeakable. And to think that this monster may not even be caged for this heinous and egregious act is injustice. The 7-year-old Anna had skipped school to go visit her friend who was sick that day. And on the way walking there, she was abducted.
Before strangling the 7-year-old with pantyhose, Grabowski held her captive in his apartment for hours. He buried the little body in a box by a canal. Shortly after, he was arrested in a pub following a tip from his fiancée.
Marianne Bachmeier is walking in a daze. Her head is held down. What is going through this poor mother's head? The reporters are desperate to know. This is the last day of the trial. Only hours from now, that verdict will be read, and how will she take this ending? How will she take it? Within a few years from this trial date, I will tell you that Marianne will develop a severe case of pancreatic cancer.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's most likely caused, or at least
Stress.
accelerated by the stress that she's going through now. It eats through her body like ivy on an old brick wall, slowly weaving its tentacles each day of pain more agonizing than the previous. She wanted the world to see her pain, and quick side note, she got a reporting documentary to film her day by day as she suffered from this cancer until the day she died.
Wow.
Though it was a whole month filming her decline because she wanted to show the world how painful it could be.
God.
This is
That's really brave of her.
Yeah.
This was in 1996 when she passed away, but this is her here. You can see this is what the face of a young 40-something woman has been through into her last dying day. March 6th, 1981, just before 10 a.m., courtroom number 157. Marianne is being guided to her seat. Her seat is directly across the monster who took the only thing that ever mattered to her. She's being guided behind that civics class. No one daring to play who can look at this poor mother the longest. It's too much pain to bear. Marianne is being guided to her seat behind the spectators, her head's down. The cloud of pity for this once single mother now ripped away. She's nobody. Marianne is being guided to her seat now directly behind this monster. Even the backside of this man removes her breath, almost like being plunged into the iciest of waters. Just Marianne is being guided to her seat. She stops. She's staring down at the floor. She's right behind her baby's killer. For the first time all day, her eyes rise up. You can see the flashing, the reporter sensing a change in emotion. They start flashing photos, and for the first time, you can actually see this poor mother's eyes. Beautiful and blue. As stated earlier, the river tears have dried up and now it's replaced by something new. She had decided that she will not let this man win. She is going to be the conductor of her orchestra, and she's going to guide these instruments today. She's going to play her own melody. She turns. She's facing the back of this monster. She reaches inside her jeans, pulls out a .22 caliber Beretta. Bang, 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 bang.
Damn, Ma.
I was definitely not expecting that.
Can you read the next one?
From the Express, she fires 8 times with her Beretta caliber .22 at the man who killed her child. 6 shots hit the 35-year-old who died in the courtroom. I hope he's dead, is all she says as she allows herself to be arrested without resistance.
I hope he's dead.
Damn.
He was very much dead.
I mean, fucking good, you know?
8 times.
Something went wrong with that justice system for that to have happened in the first place, you know?
Yeah. The shooting lasted mere seconds, but its repercussions would echo through German society for years to come, forcing a nation to grapple with questions of justice, retribution, and the lengths to which a parent's love might drive them.
Jesus. Wow.
As the courtroom is in shock, the blood is just shooting from this man. 8 times fired, 6 hit, died instantly. No one knows which shot. She's a barmaid, as I mentioned, and her boss didn't really want to question why she would stay after work hours and hours and hours in the basement shooting this new handgun. Maybe it's for her protection. Wow. She's never fired a gun before. For months,
practicing.
For months, hours and hours, shooting and shooting and shooting and shooting. 6.
Not a crime of passion. That's where I was going initially in my mind. Definitely not. Can't say that anymore.
Yeah. She would get charged with murder because this is what it was. But it was quickly downgraded to manslaughter because of the vast amount of hate letters that came in to the local police and especially the judge. If you put this woman in jail, you're dead. She didn't serve very long in prison.
Oh, yeah.
She, until the day she died, no remorse for what she did, and she was happy she did it. She went on talk shows. No remorse. She did it because
Her conscience is clear, huh?
if she didn't do it, he could have walked, and he probably
He would have done something again, undoubtedly.
That's the story of Marianne Bachmeier and that courtroom murder.
Wow.
What do you think?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean,
You see the blood.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
so did they capture the shooting on camera given the courtroom?
They definitely got the shooting on camera, but German press or whatever, those pictures have never been released. There is a video, and if you see it, just know that it is a video of the shooting, but it is of a movie they made.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a movie, but I can show you that real quick.
Oh, like a recreation.
She had those tight jeans, and you couldn't see, if you go back to the photo, you can't see a gun in her jeans at all,
I guess they didn't have metal detectors in courtrooms back then.
Yeah, you couldn't see it at all. She had hit it well, but yeah, that's the story.
Wow. That was crazy.
I hope you guys liked it.
Yeah.
This is from the Express. In 1995, she explained on the ARD talk show that she had shot him after careful consideration to prevent him from spreading further lies about her daughter. A former friend revealed in the documentary that she also practiced shooting in the basement of her scene bar in Lubeck before the act.
It does make me wonder. So it sounds to me like if the fact that the killer, not the mom in this situation, I forget what his name was, Grabowski.
This is Grabowski.
Is castration, it makes me wonder if that's been a form of criminal punishment.
So he was
He said that he voluntarily got castrated.
So it's like, was that part of their, was that a choice of punishment? Like you can either, he only spent a year in the psych ward for what he, one of his past crimes. I don't know. It's just interesting, especially now that we've talked about the, that is a potential, what's the word I'm looking for?
So no, he was
punishment.
No, he used that voluntary castration as an excuse because then he was granted hormone therapy, and that was the excuse.
Yeah.
Well, there was hormones and mixed my, neurons up or whatever the defense had said. It was the state's problem.
That is an interesting defense, and I do wonder if that's, hopefully that's not a gotcha for the other states that are considering this or the ones that already are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they'll castrate him and then let him out thinking it's not going to happen again. So
yeah. Yeah. it doesn't, I can't imagine it totally diminishes completely sexual desire. Like if you're, I don't know, that punishment in general has made me scratch my head a little bit in general, but yeah, I don't know.
It's unfortunate he didn't stay alive and bleed out longer.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the how I read it is she was like there for a mission. You know what I'm saying?
Clearly, if she was practicing shooting for months,
she waited to day 3 because it was obvious that this guy had the upper hand. As far as his defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like because day 1 you would think, oh, this is gonna be an easy case. He raped and murdered my 7-year-old. He's gonna be gone forever. But then the defense starts getting in there and start blaming other things,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So she was just on a mission to do this.
Yeah. Well, I know we have a ton of headlines to catch up on tomorrow. We'll do our best to do as many as possible.
Yeah.
We shall try.
All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're out. I'm going to bed, but we'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Kind of run this shit.